So with your lovely heart. Yeah, welcome everyone. Lovely to see your faces again. I think we're going to start with Francis and our chant. So I'll let you lead the way, Francis.
Okay. We'll start with Om and then we'll do call and response. I just messed it up. There we go. Naram Chaiva Narottamam Devim Saraswati Vyasam Devim Saraswati Vyasam Tato Jayam Tato Jayam Maybe we'll do the whole thing once because that's it. Narayanam Namaskritya Naram Chaiva Narottamam Devim Saraswati Vyasam Tato Jayam Mudiraye.
Thank you, as always. That was lovely. So I think we're going to stick with the format that we did last time, and we're just going to, Francis is going to very kindly lead us in looking at a couple of sentences from the chapter 11 reading. But we were sort of saying that it's...
Sorry, go ahead.
Go for it, Francis, yeah.
Well, I was just going to say, unless anyone has any specific questions, yeah, we were going to just look at...
I have a specific question.
Yes.
In class on Friday, Professor mentioned a new translation of the Bhagavad Gita, which includes the references to the grammar. Did anyone catch the name of that? I missed the name, which translation it is.
Yeah, it's the Sargeant Bhagavad Gita. There we go. The red cover.
Yeah, the red one.
Can you see that, Richard?
No.
Okay, I'm going to put it in the chat for you.
Okay, fine. Thank you.
Yeah?
Yep.
And you just have to make sure it's the red cover.
Okay.
You'll see when you... Anyway, I'll just go and find it online and leave Francis for a second.
No, it's on Amazon because I got it.
Yeah, I think I got mine from Amazon as well. Yeah, same. Okay, so I thought we could do more sentence breakdown because I think that was popular last time. And yeah, and this reading was pretty long and pretty tough, but the first two sentences are I think manageable. So if we look here, and anyone can jump in at any time, of course. So here, if we could see what this first part is, does anybody know what this first? This whole first section, what this says. Am I gonna have to call on people? No.
I'll give it a shot if no one
Yeah.
else. So transliterating or?
Yeah, transliterating,
okay.
Yeah.
The consecration of Sri Rama.
Oh yes, but just the transliteration. So I'm going to write it in transliteration. I'm not doing translating just yet. So yeah, this
I'm
first
sorry.
word,
Shri Ramasya.
Shri Ramasya. Great. And then, so this is this first part. Shri, this is a shra conjunct, and then a long e. Ra, long a, masya, and this is a long a here as well, so I put that a there. And then this part,
Abhishekam.
bhishekam. So this is bhi with the extra breath, bhi with the short e, and then she. This is the third mouth position, and then it goes from sha to an a because of the flag. So we have she and then ka, and this is the anusvara, so it's abhishekam. Perfect. So this first section is Shri Ramasyabhishekam. Excellent. And then this next one, this has this conjunct again.
Sorry.
It's Shrutva.
Shrutva. So we have Shra and then U. This is a tava conjunct, sorry. Tava conjunct. So we have tava and then a long Shrutva. Excellent. And then Diana?
The next one is Sarve.
Sarve. Yes, sa. This little hook is a ra. This is your va, and then the flag makes it a. Sarve. And then the next.
Jana. Long A.
Jana. Long a. Jana.
And there's just 10 of us today, so you can just unmute if you want and just,
Yeah.
chime in. Anyone.
Anyone. So we have Jana. Here, I'll do this next one. Is sorry, what's that? Richard?
Next one, Nandita.
Nandita. Great. Nandita. And then the last one
Abhavan.
let's do is Abhavan. Great. Perfect. So we have this. Shri Ramasya Bhishekam Shrutva Sarve Jana Nandita Abhavan. All right. So we can see that this first one needs to be broken up, and from having gone through past readings, and we can obviously see this is Rama, Shri Rama. They have in the glossary. Goldman has in the glossary. Let me just get my hidden. I hid the answers back there. Here we go. So the first one is Shri Ramasya. We'll put that in our transliteration here. And that makes it Shri Ramasya. Oh, here, I put this 3.3 because this is a long a at the end because it sandhis with the following word. We have Shri Ramasya, and then the next word is
Abhishekam.
Abhishekam. Excellent. So these words between them have the sandhi 3.3, where the two ahs meet and they become long ah. And then at the end of Abhishekam, the ma becomes an anusvara because of the shra when it comes up against another consonant. So we'll go back up here to Shri Ramasya, and if you look in your glossary, it would say this, Shri Rama, as a pumlinga, a masculine proper noun, glorious Rama. And then we can tell by the ending what case is it with your asya at the end.
Genitive.
It's a genitive singular.
Genitive singular. Excellent, Janice and Diana. Genitive singular. So we have Shashti Vibhakti, Ekavachana, Shri Ramasya. What about our Abhishekam? Well, in the glossary, Abhishekam appears as Abhisheka, Pumlinga, right? A masculine noun. So a masculine noun, when it takes on this ending of what case would that be?
Accusative. Second.
Second case, accusative. Yeah, dvitiya vibhakti ekavachana. Is that good for everybody so far? Yes, excellent. And then we get to Shrutva, right? Shrutva, which is a special form that we learned in the last, or is it in this particular chapter? Shrutva, that we just learned, right? So this comes from the verb root shru, and when we add the tva at the end, makes it the gerund, right? The tvanta, having heard. Is this good?
Yeah, I
So this is
really appreciate your with the gerunds that we've just been doing. If anyone else is on to chapter 11, I think I did the whole chapter and then got to the end thinking, but what exactly does this mean? And of course, it's having heard, which is what you said to me, Francis. And then it all just made sense suddenly.
No, you're completely right, because the generals are coming from the Latin tradition. I wonder, is it having heard? Fine. Or hearing? No. Hearing would be a participle, so it's having heard. Yes,
having
thank you.
heard. Yeah.
Yeah.
And this is the topic of this lesson. So there's a lot of, or quite a few of these in the reading. Then we get sarve, which is a word that we have seen quite a bit already. Sarve, meaning all, and sarve or sarva, actually, is an adjective that is declined pronominally. So we need to look at our pronoun endings to figure out what case this a is. So we know which case sarve is.
It's a nominative plural.
Nominative plural, right? Sahataute. So we have, would be sarva, sarvau, sarve, plural. So first case plural. Excellent. And then, so sarve, all what? We have jana. Jana is also a word we've seen a lot in our readings pop up. Jana. And if you look it up in the glossary, it shows up as janaha.
Nominative plural, long A.
Nominative plural, long A. And then this 339 I put here is the Sandhi rule that drops the visarga. It drops the visarga in front of a voiced consonant or vowel. So that is why your visarga has disappeared in jana. But it is pratama, nominative, bahuvachana, plural. So both of these. So sarve and jana go together. All people. Then we have nandita, which is also agreeing, right? In case and number, with sarve, with jana. If you look it up in your glossary, it shows up as overjoyed, adjective. Of course, adjectives agree with the nouns that they're modifying, and so it is also in first case plural and has the same sandhi that applies. It would have been a long and then a visarga, but the visarga drops before abhavan because, again, it is a voiced initial letter here. Okay, so then the last is abhavan, and that is our verb. Abhavan in transliteration, and then it is our lung conjugation, where you put a in front of the stem, and then the ending, the padasmai pada ending. So we get abhavat, and that is third person plural. To make sense, that goes with our subject, which is all the people. And so if we put all of this together, this should be, this is me being, no, I don't know why this looks like this. Anyway, because I have extra spaces here. This is me being particular. Okay.
Do you remember? Do you remember the rule why it says abavan and not abavant? I forgot.
Yes, because
There's a
you
rule.
don't have two consonants at the end. You
Okay.
can't have a conjunct at the end of the word. So the ta goes away. Thank you, Diana. Yeah.
No.
The ta gets dropped. The ta gets dropped. This is excellent. Yeah. Abavant, but the ta gets dropped because you can't end the word in a conjunct. So then we have, if we just were to write it out in the order that we have it, we would have, well, it would be of, right, genitive, of glorious Rama. Abhishekam, consecration. Consecration. Having heard, all people, overjoy. Is it overjoyed? What is it? Yeah, overjoyed. And then abhavan is to become, but it could also be to experience or feel. So we could put, or we could just put were if you want, because technically to be if we want to do that. So it would be, if we were trying to make this sentence have more of like a logical, like a structure that we could understand. Having heard of glorious Rama's consecration, all the people were overjoyed. Is that good? Make sense? Yeah,
It does.
The first,
Looks...
he started us easy at the beginning. It gets tougher towards the end.
Yeah, I mean, I want to ask you, Francis, when you're looking at, because I did the reading, I found this reading for chapter 11, like, I thought last chapter I was starting to kind of get somewhere, and then this reading, it just blew my mind, to be honest. Kind of, you know, gave up a little bit towards the end, as you know. But when you're looking at that sentence now, is it, because sometimes my struggle is looking at a word and knowing where to break it up. Like if I recognize, you know, Sri Rama, I can recognize little bits, so I know, okay, I know that word. But how do you approach something if you are not familiar? Like, where do you, I don't know, I feel like I should know this, but you know,
Yeah, go ahead. Did you
yeah,
have
just if
more
you
to...
don't recognize it, where would you start?
Yeah, well, I mean, I could see where Sri Rama is, and then I kind of like, it's about recognizing also what potential endings could be
Yeah.
and beginnings of words. Because I've also gotten tripped up before and being like, is this piece the start of a word or the end of the previous word? So I can understand that. For this sentence, it was pretty straightforward because of the endings that we know. Asya, and then Abhishekam, and then these were all apart. So this was actually a pretty easy sentence. Let me see. I have the next one, if it might. Yeah, this one has a little bit more of stuff to pull apart. So maybe we can look at that.
So would we really be we're looking to recognize endings? We're looking to recognize sandhi, just like little kind of things.
Endings and sandhi, I would say, because that's going to be your bridge between two separate words. Yeah.
And try to read it loud. That's what I do.
Yeah, that's true.
That's good too.
Then you feel the rhythm. There's something wrong.
Yeah, I like that. That's true. I think this week it just kind of went a bit, and then I almost lost even my basic sense of, but yeah, reading it out loud.
I know, he is how he is. He is how he is.
Well, having that wonderful suggestion, maybe we should have somebody then read the sentence out loud. Who would like to read the sentence? This next sentence. This is the second sentence of the read. Unless there's any more questions about this, but I think this is pretty straightforward for everybody. Yeah. Okay. Here.
Ah, I did not prepare, but you could tell. Part you cannot really tell just by looking at the thing.
Yeah. Do you want to read it, Diana? How about you read the sentence?
I can try, but I did not prepare. I have no idea. It's the first time that I see this text. Basuto. Then you have the avagraha. Yodia. So you know it's a yodia.
Yes.
Yodian. Dasya. So a genitive. Sya. Sagari. Wow. Niemand nevatrisht. Oh, something trisht. Somebody saw something.
Great. Excellent.
See, this
Yes.
is how I work. This is how I like
Perfect.
grab every little piece.
Exactly. What are the pieces that we can already pick out? So you've picked out Ayodhya, minus the because of the avagraha. And then you picked out Anandasya, well, the asya as a genitive ending. So this is great. Sagare, you can see it's on its own. That's pretty straightforward. Nimagneva drishyata. So this drish we've seen a lot as a form for pash in the past. So we can already start to break things up. So vastuto, I believe this was a word that just showed up in the glossary as one word. Yeah, vastuto as vastuta as an indeclinable, and it means in fact. But then I put 335 here as the sandhi because the aha becomes o before the short a, and the a gets dropped. This is a pretty common sandhi, and this I put is in, oh, right, there is no case, because it's indeclinable. Then the next word, Ayodhya. Let's see. Yeah, Ayodhya. Straightforward, Ayodhya, but minus the Ayodhya. And this is in first case, Ayodhya. And I put 3.3 here because the of Ayodhya, it's already long, but it comes up against the of the next word, which is Anandasya, which is another word that we saw in the previous reading as well. Ananda, masculine, joy, and the asya ending, just like our Shri Ramasya in the last sentence, tells us that it's genitive. So of bliss, genitive. And we have sagare. Sagare, we've also seen in the, so this is nice because he repeated this from the last reading. Yeah, which means ocean. And the a ending gives us
the locative.
The locative. Seventh case. Ekavachana. Yeah. This is the one that gets a little tricky. Well, ish. There's trickier ones later on. We have nimagneva drishyata. Yeah. So this atta ending should give us a sense that it is past, right? This is a past ending, atta. But we can start here at the beginning of the word nimagneva. Adrishyata. So yeah, actually, if you look at the verb, if it were me, I would look at this kind of backwards because I would know, oh, this is adrishyata because of the conjugation for drish and the imperfect. So let's say I did that because that was what I recognized first. So we can do this. We get adrishyata, and if we look at the glossary, we have drish, which is the equivalent of pash, but this is for when we use it in past tense conjugations. It becomes, they're the same verb, they just get used in different tenses. That it's in third person, ekavachana, Oh, I didn't put what, oh, it is Padasmaipada, fourth gana. Yeah, and this is the ending for the third person singular. So I know that the ending is adrishyata, so now it just leaves me with this nimagneva. Now I know that eva isn't an ending. This is just not an ending that you see in the nouns, right? So there's an end, there's got to be two words in here. So it could be, what could it be? If we have this, if you had to pull these two apart.
Nimagna, I thought is an adjective.
Yeah, like, so what I would do, let's say, I would just see the beginning is ni mug, and I could just go straight to the glossary. This is the nice thing, is that the glossary exists. So I look in my glossary, and maybe I go, and then I find this word, right? Ni magna. Ni magna. That ends in an a. What would make it turn into an a? I mean, I guess you could say nimagne, and it could be, but this is an adjective, so it wouldn't be, well.
But it goes with the ocean, yes.
It goes with the, it does go with the ocean, right? So, yeah. Well, now that you say that, that might make people think that it does end in a, but it's actually nimagna. I think it actually goes. Yeah. What is this? It actually. It actually.
Or maybe I'm wrong, but I thought it's a locative. I thought it's perfectly easy. But
no,
maybe
see,
not.
no, this is perfect. No, this is perfect. This is great. No, let's stick with that. So you might think it's locative. It sunk, in sunk is kind of a, but it could be locative. But what else could it be? What else could, something would need to be sunk, right? So the oceans is sunk, or it could be that the city is sunk, right?
No, in an ocean of Anandasya.
Mm-hmm. But what is sunk? Something is sunk. Does that make sense? Is bliss sunk? Is the ocean sunk? It's the city that is sunk. Is sunk in an ocean of bliss. Does this make sense? So it's actually, I know, but this is something where you would get tripped up in, for sure. Yeah, it is actually nimagna.
It belongs to Ayodhya. Yes, you're right.
And it belongs to Ayodhya. It's describing Ayodhya as being sunk. Yeah, so it's actually an adjective. It's a bhute kridanta. And it is, in the first case, singular, because it is, and it's feminine. That's the long a, because it's qualifying, describing Ayodhya as sunk. In an ocean, right? In, this is locative. And then of bliss. Yeah? Yes. And then the last, oh wait, we have, so then we have this, so this was nimagna, so then what would this be for it to become a? What would a have to meet with to become a?
Where are we? Normally I, but where are we?
Normally e, that's right, e, so you got it. So here it shows up as ava if I just look at it straight, but then I put it in parenthesis. It's actually iva. Iva that become a because the a and the a came together in the Sandhi 3.4 to become ava. But this is actually iva. Iva, which means like or as, and it's indeclinable, so it's not going to have a. It's not going to have like a case. So then if we come up here, oh, we didn't even do ours. So this is vastuto yodhya nandasya sagare Nimagneva. Drishyata. So that's our sentence. And then if we just put it like straightforward in terms of what we have, we'd have, in fact, Ayodhya, joy or bliss, let's say, ocean, in, ocean, sunk, like, and then see or seen, right? Because this is past tense. It could also be, so in this case, it would be like appear for the sake of the context of this sentence. So you could say, in fact, Ayodhya appeared. We didn't put, oh yeah, like is here. Like or as if, the same as like, sunk in an ocean of bliss. I didn't spell Ayodhya. Here we go. Does that make sense? In fact, that's your vastuto. Ayodhya, adrishyata, appeared, like, sunk, like it was sunk in the ocean, in an ocean of bliss. Questions? No. Was that helpful?
Yes.
Yeah. I did the first two easy sentences. The rest of them they get, so these become tricky, and if you're going to try to plow on with this reading on your own first before listening to Professor Bryant's translation, there's quite a few dual cases in there, so just as a little clue. And the duals can be tricky when they get sandied with other words, because the ow, the dual ending ow, becomes of when it comes up against other vowels. So sometimes this might be the case where you are confused, or where does this va come from? And in this particular reading, there are a few where the va is actually an u from an ow dual ending. So that'll give you a little clue to look out for those duals.
Thank you for the warning.
Yes, I got caught. I caught one, and I was so proud of myself. And then I missed a couple at the end. So I was like, oh, I should have known. Dual in terms of endings for nouns, and a dual also in terms of a conjugation, which I didn't catch. So look out for that. All right. That's my exercise for today. And then I don't know if anyone else has questions or things they want to clear up or discuss. We're all just overwhelmed.
Yeah, it's the volume. I mean, as I always say, it's not that it's so super hard, but it's the volume.
Yeah.
For me, at least, it's the volume. So, oh, help!
Yeah, at the beginning it used to just be, is this feminine or masculine? Which case is it? And now it's like, is it a gerund? Is it a past participle? Is it a past verbal tense? So it's becoming more, it's compounding and accumulating all of the different things that we've been.
But I really like what you
complex.
suggested to me, Francis, was to just look at, if you're going to do the reading, just work on 2 sentences even fully, word by word, and really, because I kind of this week, I think, lost heart because I tried to do the whole reading and then it was just too much. But I think just focusing the next time, I'm going to just focus on, 2 or 3 sentences, but really try and get them down and not sort of feel overwhelmed, I think. So I don't know if that helps anyone, but that's what I'm going to do. Richard, can I just check? Did you see in the chat that I put the book? Did you see that?
Oh, I haven't found the chat yet.
Oh, okay. So like at the bottom of your screen, there should be a kind of
At the bottom of the screen?
It should say chat. Can you see like participants and
I see
react?
participants, but I don't see chat. Is it under?
Oh,
No, it's there.
strange.
I have it. I have it.
Oh, okay.
Is it like
I
hidden
got
under
it.
like you got it? Okay, so I just popped it in there for you. And when we upload the recording, I'll make sure that I include that in the chat so that everyone can see it.
Well, before we head into breakouts, because that actually went pretty quick for today. Alice wanted me to share with you my
Inspiring.
my tabbed text that I made. So I don't know if you can see this, but I made tabs for each chapter so that if I need to go back and reference, I can read what each chapter is about. So it's just the names of the chapters, but that way if I have to go back to chapter 6 or 7, like they're readily available. But then there are some things within the chapter that you can't tell are there from the chapter name. So for example, I put like ganas there, or I put the Kayata series or things like this, so that those are also at my fingertips. So if I need to go back and look at the endings for imperative, like I have a tab for that too. So I have the chapter, and I did all the way to the glossary as well at the end. So that way it makes the book a little bit more easier to leaf through than kind of going through each page. And then those sections that I know, like the Sandhi section or the passive section that I'm going to go back to often, I tabbed those at the top. So just something that maybe might be a helpful reference.
My book was looking a real mess, and so I was inspired by Francis. I did try. Mine isn't quite as neat. But I have to say, I've just written, like you say, gunas, gana, PPPs, and I've just kind of picked out, and I found it really useful. So thank you.
My book is falling apart, but besides.
Yeah, I'm embarrassed to show mine because it is completely knackered already. But yeah, I've smartened it up a little bit after seeing Francis's beautiful example. But I have found it really useful, so it might be useful to others as well to do that if you haven't already.
I'm going to share, and I'm so sorry. I don't know what's wrong. My camera is not syncing with Zoom this morning. So I'm here and I'm following along. And I would show you, I love taking notes. I'm like Mrs. Cliff Notes. And so what I did for myself was I went into the PDF online and I printed out the chapters. And I hole punched them so I could put them in a binder, which I don't, because I keep referring back to the chapters all the time. You have to keep going back. And I just write all my notes. And they're color coded. And I mean, they're not very neat. I take notes the first time I watch the Rutgers class, the original class. And then I take notes again when we're online with Professor Bryant. But it gave me a ton of room. There's a ton of white space around the page, around each page. And I have sticky notes on there, and it's crazy. I mean, if anybody was in my house and they were like, what are you doing? Because there's just so much paper and index cards and sticky notes. But that was the system that I came up. I needed the room. I needed the book page was just too small for me. So I know it's a little late to mention that, but that was my trick. That's what helped me.
Yeah, I mean, I love that, Sky, because I make notes in my notebook when I'm watching. Sometimes I'm checking on the 2020 classes or I'm working through the chapter. And then during the class, I make notes in the margin. And I tend to write even like inspiring things that Professor Bryant says. I write them on the page in the book. And I do keep thinking, I'm probably going to have to buy another book at the end of this because it is. But that's a really good idea. I might do that instead.
Yeah, maybe put the big order, maybe it gets cheaper.
Alice, I bought another book right at the beginning because I'm one of those throwback people who doesn't write in their book. I don't know why I haven't broken that. So I bought the blue one back when I started, and I was very parsimonious about marking in it. And so then I bought, well, I call it, see, the pink one.
Yeah.
And so I have a very unsigned, whoops, you can't really see. But anyway, so
Yeah.
I've got like lots of pieces of paper. And I just sort of, I mean, the proliferation of those defensive movements on our part, which, I mean, it just seems to be part of how to do it. You know, that it just, I mean, maybe there are certain people that can get this without having to go through the process that we're describing. But this morning, for instance, in the same vein, but a different subject, I took the noun ending sections of the Little Red Book, which Jim, of course, is a big fan of. And I got mad at it because it doesn't have Devanagari in it. It's all in Roman characters. So I said, well, let me just see if I can make some kind of quote chart for the for these noun endings. So after I put my frilly little markers like we're doing here, Francis's are obviously very professional. That's a good word. They're professional. I mean, mine are, you know, I cut apart Post-it notes and they're scribbly. Mine are really provisional. That's my favorite word. My work is provisional. So anyway, when I fluttered all that stuff on there, and then I went, well, wait a minute, how many are these? Because Professor Bryant said, oh, we're almost done with the noun stuff, and from now on, it's going to be verb stuff, you know? And I was like, oh, well, I counted this morning at 4 o'clock in the morning, or is it 3 now, that there were 22 different sets of endings in the Little Red Book, 22. And I went, you're kidding. And I went, no. But the slowing down, the making of the little tabs, all of that stuff, really, I'm thinking now it's essential, and it helps to ground. Number one, it helps to ground me. It helps to slow me down because I'm used to unconsciously being extremely fast. You know, I mean, I guess I'm ADHD or something. And so by doing these little physical things, cutting the paper, sticking it on, marking it, making it legible, and all that kind of stuff, I really do think helps to draw me into the material in a much more close and refined way, which I think is necessary. I know it's necessary for me to maintain any kind of relationship with it at all, you know.
Yeah.
But this morning, even at 4 o'clock, I won't show y'all, but you know, here's something. You can't read it. I don't know how to make this work. But anyway, this is pencil. It's a legal pad. I can't do it with fonts or anything. But I actually, and if I were to pass out on the floor and someone were to come and look at this piece of paper, they would have no idea. It's actually a code. It's like code, you know. I mean, they would have no idea what I am doing. But I was able actually to take the format that was in the Little Red Book and readjust it onto the legal pad in a way that I thought I would be looking for if I wanted to find an ending for a noun with a certain ending of a certain gender. I'm sorry to go on and on about this, but the fact that I could do something which even weeks ago I would have said was an impossible task, that I would not have been able even to figure out how to approach it. And I think all these things that we're describing really are foundational in a skill way, especially for those of us who are new to this as a practice. It is not easy. It is extremely complex. It is old. It is done this way on purpose. There's
Okay.
something going on here that made sense to somebody enough long ago and forever since that point to codify this. So this is not nothing. Figuring it out is what we're doing, you know. So I forgive
that's
myself
all we
about
can
being
do.
slow. Okay,
All
sorry
we
to go
can
on
do.
and on, but
No, it's okay. It's great, Talissa. It's but I think that's it, isn't it? We're all just finding, it's about finding those ways that help us. But actually the question, we're just going to go into breakout now. We'll have probably like, I don't know, maybe 8 minutes or so in breakout, Francis, because the question, I was just thinking what you were sharing, Talissa, we were just going to say, when we go into breakout, what is an encouraging phrase you say to yourself when you feel like giving up? But phrases or exactly like what you've just described, Talissa, you know, things that we can do that, yeah, just help us. And so something for you to all talk about when we just pop into breakout now, or continue if we end up in the same one, Talissa. Do you want to do, does everyone want to do breakout, or just so that everybody gets a chance to talk to one other person, or
Okay.
I don't know, because it's, yeah, there's 10 of us.
Yeah,
What do you
let's
think?
talk to each other a little bit.
Yeah, cool.
Get to know us a little more.
Yeah. Okay, see you in a bit.